in your experience in working with Genesis Ag, what have you saw as far as some of the technologies that we're working with? And I'm going to just call one out, Revita-N.
Right.
What have you experienced, and what have your producers that you've been working with, what have they experienced with this technology as far as the biological life in their soil?
Number one, I tell the farmers, my growers, my customers, it's the most expensive product I sell, but it can give you back more than 4 or 5 others put together can do. And what Phillip is alluding to is the use of the biologicals to remediate and to help build soil organic matter. It changes the dynamics where water and air move through the profile freely. It's sort of like earthworms. That's a good example. The first year you use Revita-N, you get roughly 10 pounds of free available nitrogen for the crop. Second year, 20. Third year, 30. But more than just the nitrogen that you're getting available and not having to buy, you're building the soil. You're putting biologicals into the soil. And then we have other products that we're going to talk about shortly that feed those biologicals. But what I've seen, I've worked the entire state, mountains, Piedmont and coastal plain, and in the deep sandy soils, if you can build organic matter, if you can hold some moisture, if you can keep the heat factor down to the root system during the growing process, all those are heroes, no zeros.
So in some of the producers, Lynn, and I know you're have been very heavy into tobacco, specialty crops, vegetables, and you've got the producers to put the Revita-N into their transplant solutions. What have those producers come back and shared with you, or in your visits to those farms, what have you experienced when you've actually walked out onto the farm, and what has the producer shared with you?
Well, as I stated earlier, the producers, anytime you help them in a growing season, they're going to let you know the good, the bad, and the ugly. And with Revita-N, I've not had a customer that used Revita-N that didn't see the benefit, and it did pay for itself. And especially in those sandy soils again that I alluded to earlier, it just pays such big dividends when you're changing the chemistry of the soil profile. And a lot of people would say, well, you can't fix a dead sand. Oh, yes, we can. We can take a dead sand, and with our products, we can change the chemistry of that soil profile for the plant. And Revita-N is our number one in biologicals. The rest play a very vital process, and this is where I stole your word cocktail. When we have to, we mix several products that we know is going to bring that plant back around, back to life. I mean, yield-wise and health-wise, we can do that.